Well, hello and welcome to Military Mayday. Pointing out a few pieces on the chessboard. Got some stories for you here. This first one is the B-1 bomber crashes during landing in South Dakota. Could this be more diversity training? We've seen this happen before. Is there maybe women at the helm? We'll get into that. The X-65. DARPA has okayed its construction with the air jet flight controls. And what this is, these are little jets on the side that shoot out bursts of air. This plane is robotic, by the way. Are these things possible future of flight? Could be, but they look like there's something more for outer space. So are these things going to be pushing those boundaries? We'll have to get into it. And then the last story we're going to do is ghost towns for sale in the U.S. I've been wanting to kind of hit on this for a little while. I might do a bigger story, just a whole video on it, because there's way more than this out there. This is just the quickie I could grab. But in these little ghost towns, I mean, some of these got decent acreage at pretty decent prices, in my opinion. And you can be your own mayor, sheriff, city council. You can pass laws. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. A lot of business opportunities. Airbnb. You're looking at car shows, music festivals, Bitcoin meetings, movie sets, depending on the age of it. I mean, there's a lot of things out there that you could do with these, and we'll get into that too, and go over a few of them, some of their prices. But before we get started, if you're into this information, smash that like button, subscribe. Let's get these videos out to other people that might also be interested in hearing some of this. Alright, let's get to the meat of it here. The B-1 Lancer bomber from Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota encountered an unfortunate incident on Thursday, leading to a crash during a training mission. Fortunately, all 4 crew members successfully ejected, as confirmed by the U.S. Air Force. The crash occurred at approximately 5:50 p.m. local time, reported the base. The crew was engaged in route training activities at the time of the incident, according to the latest statements released by Ellsworth Air Force Base on Thursday night. Weather conditions during the crash were challenging, marked by poor visibility, freezing temperatures, and low clouds, as indicated by automated weather reporting systems that monitor airfield conditions. The B-1B Lancer, an iconic aircraft synonymous with the latter stages of the Cold War, was initially conceived as a strategic nuclear bomber designed to operate at low altitudes to evade Soviet early warning radar systems. Since the Cold War's end, the B-1B Lancer has been modified for carrying conventional munitions and extensively deployed in close air support and tactical bombing missions. Recognized for its capacity to transport the Air Force's largest array of guided and unguided weapons, this versatile aircraft serves as the cornerstone of America's long-range bomber fleet, capable of swiftly deploying significant quantities of both precision and non-precision weapons globally. The multi-mission B-1 remains an essential asset. It was introduced in the 1980s as a conventional supersonic bomber that has contributed to the U.S. bombing presence in the Asian Pacific region and played vital roles in providing close air support during U.S. operations in Afghanistan. Although originally 100 were manufactured, fewer than 60 are presently operational, stationed at Dice Air Force Base in Texas. If you'd like to show your support for what we're doing here, blah blah blah. Well, Colton Jones didn't really say much, but a little history lesson there, huh? And like I said, it could be more diversity training, boys and girls. I mean, these things go bad. Conditions sound like they were pretty bad, but at the same time, something like this, I mean, if you're not some trainer being trained, you could probably land it. I mean, you're probably a badass if you fly one of these things. DARPA okays construction of the X-65. Uh-oh. Here we go. DARPA has awarded a contract to Aurora Flight Sciences to build a full-scale aircraft called the X-65. It will test a new technology that replaces moving control surfaces with active flow control AFC actuators that use jets of air for control. If you ever sat in the wing seat of a plane, you probably noticed there's a lot of activity going on out there. Flaps, slats, ailerons, spoilers all go into motion. While unseen on the tail of the plane, the elevators and rudder play their part. It's all very dramatic, but also involves a complex symphony of machinery and control systems to make it work. Using AFC actuators, DARPA hopes to one day replace all these expensive, weighty control surfaces with a much simpler system that depends on jets of air to do the same thing instead of moving control surfaces. An AFC system uses an array of nozzles installed in the following edges of the airfoils. By shooting compressed air out of these nozzles, they can change the air pressure in the vicinity and alter the airflow over the airfoil. In this way, the system can change the roll, pitch, and yaw of the aircraft. According to DARPA, the robotic X-65 will have a distinctive diamond-shaped design for greater strength. However, it will not be controlled solely by AFC actuators. Instead, it will have both an AFC system and a conventional mechanical control system. The purpose of this setup is to ensure the safety of the experimental craft and to provide means of building up a baseline of data that engineers can use to compare the two systems. As the tests proceed, the mechanical controls will be locked down in place, replaced selectively until the AFC system has full control. Part of DARPA's control of revolutionary aircraft with novel effectors crane program, the X-65 has a modular design for quick modification, operates without a crew, weighs at over 7,000 pounds, and has 30-foot wingspan. When airborne, it's expected to reach speeds of about Mach 0.7. These specifications make it similar to military training jet, which means the test data can easily be related to the real world. DARPA says that Aurora Flight Systems has already begun construction of the X-65, which is expected to roll out early next year. Now, does that mean, yeah, I guess it means 2025. If successful, the implications of the AFC technology are considerable. By reducing weight and simplifying systems, it is possible for engineers to greatly improve aircraft by using the savings to make airframes lighter and sturdier. This could lead to thinner, longer wings and much greater efficiency, and perhaps one day the technology could be expanded to airfoils and entire aircrafts, allowing it to be sheathed in a fractionless layer of air that will let the airship slip through the air with greatly reduced drag. It's thrilling to be able to say we're building the AFC X-plane, said Richard Schleiswood, programmer's crane. I came to DARPA in '99 to work on micro-adaptive control flow, which helped pioneer functional understanding of fluid dynamics that eventually led to crane. I left DARPA in '03 after managing MAFC. The chance of life to come back and just work on this early fruition in a full-scale physical aircraft. Aerospace engineers live to see their efforts take flight. Yeah, and it's probably a good idea, and it might end up being what we're all flying in one day. Might even be a possible eVTOL, PAV, personal air vehicle. Might have some shit like that since they're lightweight. Ghost towns for sale in the U.S. Many once bustling towns are set deserted and deteriorating for decades, creating thousands of ghost towns across the U.S. Some are mining or railroad towns that stopped serving a purpose when the mines are no longer profitable and other forms of transportation became available. Others were wiped out by disease or elements, prompting remaining residents to pack up and move elsewhere. But no matter the cause, you can find some of these ghost towns for sale. You can find a lot of them. This is just an example. These are, like I said, I want to do a whole story on this. But anyway, if you ever dreamed of being a proprietor of an entire village, renovating a previously thriving Old West locale to its former glory, or perhaps turning an abandoned community into the coolest Airbnb ever, you might want to check out some current ghost towns for sale. You may be surprised by the many options available, and you will be. Nipton, California. Because nipped in, blah, 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 blah. About 25 residences currently up for sale, priced at $3,125,000. The 80 acres include the Nipton Trading Post, a restaurant, bar, a 5-room hotel, a general store, a trailer park, a schoolhouse, and more. Originally called the Nipino Camp, it was founded in 1905. Blah blah blah. 19. And I'm not sure. I don't think this is the picture of it. I'm pretty sure it's not. Clearwater, Arizona, mining town. This one's going for $100,000. This is it. This is your bar. You got buildings over here, and you got how many acres? Almost 40 acres. That's a decent little stretch for $100,000. It's got. You got. Probably put a little courthouse. You could do a lot of stuff with this little sucker, but that ain't the good one. 1.75 million. There's no picture of this one. It's got a motel on 62 acres, 20 standing buildings, a pool, water holding tank, largest mine in the area, and railroad track leading into it. Village includes stables, a jail, 8-room hotel, and more. 83-acre town, 30 miles inland from Highway 101 to California's Redwood Coast, was renamed Bridgeville in 1875. 06. It's currently available for $1.5 million. Their asking includes river frontage, swimming holes, houses, cabins, a post office, and a cemetery. River frontage. There's a picture of the cemetery. I guess those are some of the buildings back there. What was that one again? Let's see. 1.5 million. Just west of Henry Hills Village, founded a textile mill in 1905. Seems familiar. It's a good reason. It served as the home as the main character, including Gail Primpe, the original The Hunger Games film, as mentioned in this Twitter post. This one's up for sale for how much? 1.4 million. Buyers will gain 21 unrestored mill houses and a store building on nearly 72 acres. Got like a little waterfall here. Is this some kind of a dam? It's a way to generate power. Dun, 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 dun. Gabriel, New Mexico. 58 acres. 24 buildings included in the price. Barber shop, barber chair furnishings, hotel, fully functional, even a stagecoach is included. 1.6 million asking price on this one. Look at all that. You can use that for movie stuff, rent that stuff out. You can have Airbnb for the hotels. And if you have somewhere you work online or something like that, I mean, you can make your money, not have to really leave too much. Might have to bring in a little grocery store, working grocery store. It looks old. Milliken, Oregon. This one's for $1,500,000. Milliken store. It's important to note that purchasing a ghost town is not as simple as getting a mortgage or making payments. Utah real estate broker told Money Tips that it's exceedingly difficult to find funding for this type of real estate. Most times it's going to be a private sort of banking with loans based on the individual and the relationships that have with the bank versus your traditional square box banking. Yeah, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac aren't touching these properties. But if you got the cash or maybe wealthy uncle, you could buy your own ghost town. If not, it's fun to dream. It is kind of fun to dream about just some of the things you could do. I mean, you could turn around the rest of the county. You could turn around some other counties if you were doing things right, getting people coming there, bringing in business, being more constitutional, let's say. If you were doing stuff like that, you'd be doing well. But this is just one little example. They hit the nail on the head. Something like thousands, and there really are. Most of them are for sale. Anyway, smash the like button, subscribe. Until next time, I have to say, toodaloo.